Yeah, Paige.
A dilemma I have is I'll go to the supermarket and I'll see people treating their children really badly.
Mm-hmm.
And immediately anger comes up at me, and then I get fearful, but I also am afraid of confronting them because I'm not being loving myself, if you know what I mean, because I've just been angry and upset about it. Mm. So I don't know what you do in that situation where, you know, they're horrible to their children.
Mm. Is God letting it happen?
Mm-hmm. Well, yes.
Yes. Interesting. Why is that interesting?
He's not getting angry?
No, why is it interesting that God lets it happen? Why doesn't God come and smite the person?
Is that because they've got free will?
Sorry?
They've got free will?
They have?
But if you're in a position where you can see it's wrong and you know the truth is that it's unloving...
Is it? It's not happening to you?
No.
It's happening
yes.
to someone else, yeah.
Yeah.
You know it's unloving, yes?
Yes.
Don't you think God knows it's unloving?
So I shouldn't say anything. I should just.
No, I'm not saying. I'm saying, why is it that God? See, these are questions you need to ask yourself. Why is it God is not acting? God's got the power to act. Why isn't God acting on that in that regard? There's two primary reasons why God's not acting.
Well, they've got free will, and there are laws that.
Whose laws?
God's laws that will affect them.
Right, they've got free will.
Mm-hmm.
Does that mean, like, you've got free will? Does it mean you can go murdering people?
No.
No, it does, doesn't it? You can murder people,
yes,
can't you?
I'm not going to.
You're not going to, but you can.
Mm.
Yeah. So you can choose to murder people.
Yeah.
Right? So, yes, there is this aspect of free will, but is that why God's not acting? There's another reason why God's not acting. Would anyone like to have a guess? Like why that might be, Eloisa maybe? Just Eloisa, yep, thanks.
Is God giving us an opportunity to act?
Ah. Why is God giving us an opportunity to act? Who created this family that allows the abuse of children?
If it was me, I did.
Isn't it society? You think about it. You think about abuse of children.
Yeah, it's intergenerational. We've all
Is it unlawful to hit a child?
In some countries.
Oh, it is in some countries, but not here, is it?
No.
No. And in fact, in most Christian countries, it certainly is not unlawful to hit a child, is it?
No.
Is it unlawful to hit an adult?
Yes.
Eh?
Well, depends.
It is, isn't it? It's unlawful to hit an adult in most countries. But it's not unlawful to hit a child. Why is that?
Because we're hypocrites.
Because?
We're hypocrites.
Sorry?
We're hypocrites and we have one rule for
well, that's the underlying result. But why isn't it? There's got to be... it's called parenting. But why is it called parenting? Why? If we... there's only one mic, so I still want to keep the mic with Owen. I think it was Owen. If we come down to Ange. Yeah.
Because we all allow it.
Well, basically, a society approves of it. Why do we approve of it?
Well, why do we?
Straight behind you, yeah. Rob, straight behind you.
It's the false beliefs that we've been taught, that it's discipline, it's controlling, it's teaching your children how to behave, all those sorts of things.
Which all of us tend to believe, even though we say we don't. Yeah. How frustrated do you get when you're trying to convince a child to do something and smacking is not an option? You think about your parenting when you're a parent, those of you who've been a parent, if smacking is not an option, how frustrating your life becomes in terms of controlling your children. Most of the time they're just reflecting your own unhealed behaviour, are they not? Yep. So what does this tell us? An action where a child is getting harmed in a public supermarket is the law of attraction of every single person who's present in that market. You follow? that is demonstrating that every one of those people have a problem with this particular event. That's how the law of attraction works. When we go through understanding God's laws, we hopefully will give you a bit more of a better understanding about the law of attraction and how it works. So as a result, this event is a law of attraction event created partially by your own soul. And in fact, the anger inside of your own soul is, in your case, what's going to get triggered. Now, can you correct a person while you're angry? Of course you can't, right? So you cannot, in this case, take an action until you've corrected the anger as a response within yourself. Do you follow me? Once you've done that, you will know exactly what to do in this regard to help that particular parent and child in an attitude of love. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But you're not going to do it while the anger is inside of you. You need to address that. But that applies to every single person who observes this particular event in the supermarket. Right, which there might be 10, 15, 20 people observing the event. Every single one of those has a problem with that particular event.
Right.
They have something that they need to address within that event. Do you follow?
Yes.
Now, the correct course of action is if we were all feeling our own emotions and everything, including the parents who were involved in this particular action, then it wouldn't have occurred in the first place. Right? Now, God knows all of that. And that's what God's trying to help. He's trying to help all of us come to terms with, firstly, the emotion that's within inside of us that this poor little child's getting harmed by a parent who's just a big bully and who feels their life's out of control or whatever it is, other reasons they have for doing such a thing. And they need to, those emotions in all the people present need to be addressed. Now, the average person doesn't address them, do they? Like, when you walked out, did you connect with why you're angry?
Well,
Did anybody else do it?
no.
Probably not, right?
And also, what comes up in me is, I was a teacher for many years, and I look back and see how terribly children were treated by me in that system. Like really terrible. So again, I feel I have no.
Yeah, but see that then guilt is motivating you.
Yeah.
You see. So feel about how you talk. This is one of the attractions of the event. So feel about how you've done that to children and so forth. Feel about why you're angry about it as well. Work your way through those particular emotions. When the event happens again, you'll be able to lovingly go up to the parent and deal with the child as well. You will. Even if that meant eventually the child was taken away from the parent, you used to be able to lovingly do it. Right? But if you're angry and you're resistive to those underlying emotions and you're resistive to your own guilt and you're resistive to your own shame about what happened in the past when you treated children in a similar manner, not the same perhaps, but a similar manner, then of course there's no opportunity for change. Right? So all of these events are governed firstly by the will of the individuals involved. The parent obviously wants to smack its own or belt its own child. But secondly, by the attraction trying to bring about some law-based change in every single person who has observed the situation. Does that make sense? Now, in, I think it was 2000 and, I don't know, probably 9 or something like that, we were in Melbourne. I think it was 2009. And somebody asked me about something that happened in the news, which was a rape of an elderly woman. And I went through the law of attraction and what was actually occurring in the cases of each individual. My suggestion to you is to understand that. Because it all gets back down to emotions that we are preferring to not feel ourselves. Yep. Now, of course, once you've felt those things, taking action is the best thing to do, but you'll know what action to take once you're in that state.
Because you'll be in a state of knowing what love is and what truth is. And
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'd suggest to you the fact that you're not taking action is an indication that you already know you're not in that state.
I do. That was my original dilemma.
Once you know you're
that.
in the state, you would take action anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, well, it's...